So, Fred, what are you passionate about?
Well, I am passionate about performing, and I have been passionate about performing for a long time. Well, I have been performing for the better part of about, I think, 11 years now. I initially started in 8th grade. It's because of a girl. It was a girlfriend at the time. She told me she was doing this show. It was Anything Goes, and she auditioned to be in it. And I auditioned. I ended up getting a part in it, and I ended up getting like a minor role. And of course, in high school and stuff, they don't have enough guys to do these things, so like I got a bigger role than I probably should have at that time. And so we're in the show about 2 weeks. She drops out, and I can't drop out because there's nobody else to play the part. So I kind of got stuck in it. And yeah, it was an interesting experience. I got bit by the acting bug at that point. I couldn't sing, I couldn't act, I couldn't dance. I used to be known as the boy who couldn't sing by my teacher. She never told me that, but she told me years later that, I think about 5 years later, she told me that that was my nickname when I was in 8th grade. And it was kind of refreshing to hear, because I was like, okay, so I've come a long way since then. But yeah, I've always been passionate about performing. It's like one of those times where, it's one of those things where you're able to not be yourself, and you just like relinquish everything, like you just let everything go, and you just give yourself to the audience, and you make them feel things, you make them want to do things, they walk away with something no matter what. Like they're not gonna sit there and just be like, okay, this was what, like, I would never want somebody to come see a show and sit through it and be like, okay, that was nice, and just go about their day. I want them to sit there and see it, experience it, and when they leave, they're like, holy crap, like, I remember this part and that part, and oh my god, like, something comes up in their life, and they automatically go back to that point in their life that they saw that performance, and it just, like, brightens their day, makes them feel something, like anything. I just love to make people feel things, if that makes any sense. When it comes to performing, there is no end. Like, as you keep performing, it's not like, okay, I've reached my cap over here and that's it. You could keep going up. There's no final step. You could make goals for yourself, but ultimately, like, my goal right now is ultimately to make it to Broadway, which is what a lot of goals are for some actors and performers and stuff like that. Like, they want to get there. That's like New York City, there it is. But once you get there, like, a friend of mine told me a story that a friend of theirs had gotten to Broadway at the age of, I think, 19 or 20. And then once she got it, she was like, okay, now what? So of course you're gonna go for the next thing. Like, what is the next thing? Like, maybe I want to go for film, or maybe I want to do a singing competition or something like that, or maybe I want to start my own band kind of thing. There's just no limit to where your performance can go. So it's just like, it's exciting. You just never know what's gonna happen next. It was a little over a year ago that I felt that. I was auditioning, I was getting callbacks. There was a Beauty and the Beast international tour. I had gotten called back, I think, 3 or 4 times. Then it was basically like, you know, callback after callback after callback for months. It was like 5 or 6 months, and it was just nothing. Like, nothing was coming up. And I was like, I'm submitting every day. I'm working my ass off every day just to just prepare myself, like working on my book, working on a voiceover reel, a vocal reel of singing, and working on all this stuff. And I was like, why is nothing happening right now? Like, what am I doing wrong? And I didn't understand until one day, like, I got that call out of nowhere, and I ended up working on a cruise ship. It all, like, happened so quickly. It was like within a matter of a week or two. It was like, okay, sign the papers, get your blood work done, and like get all this stuff done to make sure that you're clean to get on this ship. And I was gone on a ship for 9 months performing. If you ever feel discouraged, and no matter what your field is, if you're feeling discouraged, everyone gets to that point no matter what. Like it's just what happens. You just gotta keep pressing on. Like you're gonna get it's so cliche, but you're gonna get 1,000. You're gonna get a sea of no's before you get that one yes, and it's always gonna happen that way. Like even if you're like successful in the beginning, where it's like bam, 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 there's gonna be a point where you hit a wall, and you're gonna be like, what do I do now? And you just gotta realize you gotta press on. Just keep going with it. Find a different tactic. Find a way to circumlocute, a way to get around the situation. Just do everything that you can. If you're passionate about it, do not stop doing it.
For ho ho ho, who's got the last laugh? He. Let's at the best laugh. Ha ha ha. Who's got the last laugh now?